What's going on? My name is Jordan Fowler and today I'm here at Southwest Motorhomes in the heart of Somerset, and I'm here with this luxury motorhome. This is a Malibu I 441. This is an absolute beast of a motorhome. It's just under £90,000. Basically what I'm going to do is take you around the whole motorhome and show you how I take pictures inside and out, and kind of to get the best angles and the best lighting possible, so that they can get this online and get it sold as soon as possible, ready for the summer. So let's get into it. Okay, so basically starting off outside the van, we're going to get a shot of the whole van with the building behind it. So basically the thing to do with shooting motorhomes like this is to get as far away as you can, and I'm going to zoom right in. So I'm in there at 70 millimeters. Now obviously that is way too bright, so we're going to bring our shutter speed in. We're at ISO 100 and the camera is really low to the ground. We're on wide AF focus. And we're going to snap a nice picture. I'm just going to zoom out slightly so we get the top of the building as well. And that's what we do for all their vans here. We kind of get a bit of a flagship image with the whole building in the background. I'd then quite like to move around to this kind of angle. Again, getting low to the ground and zooming right in. Going to have to up the shutter speed a little bit because the windscreen's kind of blown out. Might get even lower. And yeah, that looks good. So basically that is getting, the lower you get, it makes the van look even bigger, more luxury than it actually is. Now obviously I would go around the whole van and get all the detailed shots as well. So I get shots of the wheels, shots of the step. And also one shot that I do really like to get, these doors they have nice nets. So I'll basically pull the net halfway across, and this time in portrait mode. And I'm going to increase my ISO slightly and lower my shutter speed so we get a bit of focus on the inside. So I'm happy with that about there. Snap that, that's cool. Right. So now with us inside the van, it's all about making the van look as spacious as possible and as luxury as it is. So basically I'm not going to use too wide of a lens. It's not like trying to shoot interior photography in a home, although it's kind of similar, but I'm not going to try and go too wide because the walls are quite narrow anyway, obviously because of the nature of it being a van. If you start using like a 14, 16 millimeter, which I've tried before, it is going to look too wide and too spaced out. So I'm actually going to stick with the 24 to 70 mil. So the widest I'm going to go is 24 mil. In terms of aperture, I'm going to stick around f8. That tends to work quite well for these kind of shots. And basically it's just making the space look as luxury and as spacious as possible. So the first thing I do when I get in here is make sure everything's looking as it should be. Make sure the cushions are right, make sure the seats are facing the right way. If possible, then I turn all the lights on, make sure everything's set up that way. In some vans they have nice displays on here. They'll have bottles of wine and dinner plates set up. But in here it looks pretty good, it's pretty tidy. I think it's just been valeted. So we'll crack on and start taking some pictures. The living space in most motorhomes is at the front here. So typically one way I like to get that shot is actually from outside the van, because you can get as far back as possible, meaning you get more in, and it's just a really nice angle that you actually don't get from inside the van. So what I'm going to do on this one is I'm just going to open up this window so I can shoot in there. We'll open up that door in a second and we're going to shoot in from outside so we get as much space as possible. So now we're outside and the window is open. If you look in there, that is a really nice angle. You can see most of the living area and you can see part of the bedroom at the back. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm at 24 millimeters. I only want the table and that seat, and I'm on ISO 800. I might just drop that down to 640 and I'm happy with that. Might crop that in a little bit, and yeah, that looks great. So moving around to the other side of the van, it's basically the same sort of story here. Luckily on this side we can open the door. From here we can kind of get in a little bit further and we can actually shoot the kitchen really nicely from here. So the nature of this kitchen, I'm going to shoot it in portrait. I'm going to go up to ISO 800. I'm not worried about going too high on the ISO with this camera because we're not going to lose too much detail or get too much grain. So I'm happy with that. I've got my focus point in the middle. I'm happy with that composition. And That looks good. So when it comes to shooting the bedroom apartment of a motorhome like this, where it's got quite a big bedroom that's the full width, I like to shoot the bedroom basically in 2 photos. So from the left side, I will take a picture of the right-hand side of the bed, and vice versa from the right-hand side, I'll take a picture of the left-hand side of the bed. It's quite important that you show off the vast space and the storage around the bed, so not just the area itself. And it's also, you don't have to try and cram everything into one picture. So moving on to the bathroom section, I'm actually sat on the toilet. The bathroom in these Malibus is actually really nice and really quite spacious for a motorhome. So these can often be quite dark, though this one's quite light. You've got a roof light there, and you've got some lighting, LED lighting inside as well. So this one's not too bad, but some of them can be quite dark, especially if they're pushed towards the back of the motorhome. So you don't want to crank the ISO up too much, so you can either bring in lights, open all the windows and blinds behind you, but ideally what you're hoping for is a nicely lit bathroom with a big open door like this. It allows in a lot of natural light from the rest of the motorhome. Now the overall shots in the bathroom are going to be portrait. This is just so we can show as much as we possibly can, and then the detailed shots, we'll get detailed shots of the sink, the toilet unit itself, the shower head, and maybe the mirror cabinet if there is one, or mirror lighting, but we'll have an overall shot which will be in portrait. So I'm going to get on with that now. So now we're in the cab in the front. Obviously I've spun the seats around so they're facing the right way now, and basically I'm just going to shoot pictures of the dashboard, the steering wheel. We'll get some shots of the seats, just all the kind of features. There's a sat nav and some of them have screens. This one hasn't got one. One way that I do really like to shoot these is I like to use a little bit of foreground to sort of blur out one of the bottom corners. So the way I use that is I shoot from behind the seats, and I get a kind of corner of the seat in the shot, using that as foreground. It's obviously out of focus, shooting through, looking at the steering wheel and the dashboard. So very quickly then I'm going to crack on and get all the shots I need in the cab, and then we're going to wrap up. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like seeing the kind of commercial work that I do and the behind the scenes of how I get the shots that I produce for clients, then do let me know, and I can do some more of these behind the scenes kind of shots at other commercial shoots that I'm on. I will do some more here at Southwest Motorhomes when I'm perhaps filming some other bigger vans and some horse boxes and stuff, and I'll take you along for that as well. But that is it for now, so I will see you in the next one.